Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and welcome back to Let's Play The Final Station. This is the final episode, and last time we met a pretty creepy guy, and we lost our train. So now we're just trying to cover the last bit of distance back to Redmund on foot. Some kind of strange looking ruins back there in the sand. Oh. So how about that Guardian? We saw him launch, but it looks like he didn't last that long. And from these giant kind of claw-looking rents in it, I'd say that's probably a bit of a hint as to what the actual they are that are behind the whole invasion. But it looks like at some point after being launched, he got messed up pretty quick. So it's probably a good thing we didn't stay in Metropole. In fact, it's probably likely that Metropole is not there anymore. Which maybe gives a little more credence to the statement that we are the last. Perhaps the last uninfected human? Though without the train to protect us from the gas, that might not last so long. Hey, you got here before us. Yep, he'll save everyone. Isn't your job supposed to be to take care of these things? Well, your job, your task, your reason for existence. Now, of course, because we don't have the train, we're not simply looping through a map and then coming back to the entrance to leave. We are just kind of pressing forward. And we've got this facility here. Which we're going to need to cut through if we want to get to where we're going. This prison facility. Now, when we first saw the hunter in the dream, we also saw him in a prison. No reason to save our medkits anymore. So there's just a lot of regular dead people here. Except for this guy, he's looking a bit goopy. But it looks like they were gunned down by this fella who is himself also dead. Let's just pretend that that mounted gun uses pistol ammo. So we can actually just skip that area down there completely, but let's go down there first. Actually, I don't know if that's true. We might need a key. I thought I remember that you don't have to go down here. But this is a very weird, sterile-looking environment underneath the prison. And what do we got in here? A single man with glowing white eyes, tied up. I was looking for a canteen, and I took a wrong turn, and then somehow ended up tied up here. Fine. He will take me away from here. I think we can probably guess who that is, just based on proximity. But the question is, how long has this guy been here? Because it seems possible that, as one of the, enlightened infected, that he might have been here since the first visitation. And that, being one of the enlightened infected, he thus does not die of old age. But again, we don't really know anything about this guy, and that's not going to change. Test subject, Peter Elliott, manager. Offense, petty theft. Traits, obedient and passive, and that was one of the regular zombie fellows. So at least get a little indication of here of what people become based on their traits. And to bury it, unemployed, multiple aggravated adults, rude, introverted, and she became one of the fast little bastards. Robert Wright, unemployed, multiple homicide, arson, aggressive. He's an exploder. Just trying to remember if there's any significance to these names, if we've encountered these before, written on notes or anything. And I think they have cropped up here and there. John Garriott, engineer developer. Has no offense. Purposeful, highly intelligent. And he's got all sorts of fancy scribblings on the walls like we've seen before. So are they essentially just saying that good people are the only ones that become the enlightened? He couldn't. Freedom. So this guy is one of the enlightened, and he appears to be dead. But how long has he been there? This is a track we haven't heard in a while. Well, we're nearly home. Nothing but rolling hills from here on out. We'll finally be able to see our family and get an answer to whatever it is we were going to call them about. Even if that answer is just, hey, we're alive. Two infected in a tent. Seem to have tore the place up pretty good. Tent rental, $40. Beer, $20 for 4. Condoms, $5. Ooh, cheap shit. Being murdered in your tent by some guy with a gun, priceless. It's not so colorful over here. Alright, shack with some severed heads. Nothing to be too concerned about. After all, they're not our head. So we're not gonna worry our pretty little head about it. Oh look, a canister. We should probably not go near that, since, gas and all that. But we don't have a choice. I'm sure it's nothing. I'm not really sure why they're still giving us medkits and ammo this late in the game. I mean, there are a few guys left, but we're so close to the end that at this point you'd have to be pretty skint to need it. A little odd to have a bench on your roof, but whatever. I'm not sure why these guys don't seem to be vulnerable to headshots at all. I think I've got the black lung, Pa. But we're so close to our goal. Well, there are still people here in the town. They're looking a little different. It's almost like there's nothing left to broadcast. So it seems we are, you know, as you can probably tell, infected. I'm leaving you for Alan. Now you have all the time in the world for your stupid music. This is the same kind of instrument setup we've seen throughout the game a couple times. So yes, this town is now filled with the enlightened. This being the town we started in. Also, just kind of ignore that spaceship in the background there. I'm sure it's nothing new. No one really seems to care about our affliction, though. I didn't think it would take you so long. And that is Thornton there, the head of the plant, and as it turns out, one of the enlightened, which is why people were surprised that he gave us the thing. And here is that church congregation again from our dream, except now it's made a reality. So we get a lot of stuff to infer there, but not a lot of solid information. Basically, these guys are going to remove whatever sort of barrier was set up to keep them from crossing over in the canyon where they originally crossed over, and where apparently they're only able to cross over again, so that they can build a portal so that materials can be sent through to them, and they can be joined with perhaps other places through the portal. So essentially, these people are voluntarily, voluntarily in air quotes maybe, because it required them to be infected first, but they are essentially, completely ready to join with the aliens or interdimensional beings or whatever they are. And they're all happy now and live in a utopia where there's no war and no violence. And everyone just does what they want to do. And presumably, all of the other uninfected humans are dead. Because they just weren't able to handle this kind of society. Well, I suppose they were kind of selected. Most people were just, infected, and then these people killed off the infected because they don't want them around. And now they're ready to start a new society. Well, here we are at home. With the... Now you'll notice there's definitely the implication that a child lives here. This bedroom with hearts and a giant teddy bear. But neither now nor at the start of the game do we actually see anybody in this house. Like, there's us. There's presumably a child. And you might kind of assume that's who we've been trying to find this whole time, trying to get back to. We were not destined to become an enlightened. We just became a regular old infected, and the hunter shot us in the face. And he said, "I'll take care of her." Now, was he talking about our presumably wife that left us? Or the child that may or may not exist? Who knows? It's really up to you guys to kind of infer what any of this meant, if there was any purpose to it. Was our character just sort of a vehicle for us to experience these events and not actually that significant as a character? Or was there a lot more going on that you're supposed to piece together through those notes, but of course, they're not translated super well, so it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting game. I don't know if it's a good game, because the gameplay is kind of simplistic. There's not really even a lot of challenge to it, considering how constant the checkpoints are. Again, the only real challenge is trying to keep all of the survivors you pick up alive. But the gameplay is simplistic. The story is not super well written, even if it's kind of interesting. But again, is it something that I'd want to play again, a third time? No, probably not. Sure, you can make all sorts of fun theories out of what exactly is going on here, including one where we are a criminal who has escaped from prison and are on the run from the hunter fella who is a bounty hunter. But yeah, I will say that one thing I definitely think is good in this game though is the style. Like the music's good, the art style's good, the background art is really good for the most part. It's just not enough, I guess, and I'm curious to see if these guys do something similar, if and when they make a second game. Not a sequel, but, another game, because I'm pretty sure this was their first game. But yeah, it's interesting, and that's why I wanted to LP it, and hopefully you guys got something out of this. But I've been Shadefyre, and that was the final station. Something we all reach one day, in our own way. But hopefully not anytime soon. Take care, folks.